All right, for today's explainer, we are strapping in for something, well, something truly extraordinary. We're going to break down how to fly a craft using a control system that's completely alien, totally intuitive, and honestly, pretty mind-bending. Our guide for this journey is the Bio-Neural Haptic Flight Manual, so let's crack it open and see what it really takes to connect with a machine on a neural level.
So let me just ask you something right off the bat. Picture this. You step into the most advanced cockpit you can possibly imagine. And there's nothing. No buttons, no joystick, not a single screen. How in the world would you fly it? It's a question that pretty much throws out everything we think we know about piloting. Well, anything.
And this really gets to the core of it. Over on the left, that's us, right now. Crude mechanical inputs. We're very clearly controlling a separate machine. But on the right, that's a whole new ballgame. Bio-neural flight, a haptic resonance system that works by interpreting your intent. The big idea here isn't about controlling a machine anymore, it's about becoming the machine.
So let's really dig into this new way to fly. You have to understand, the whole philosophy here is a massive leap from anything we're used to. This isn't about physical inputs like pushing a lever. It's about the ship plugging directly into your nervous system and just responding to what you want it to do.
The technology at the heart of all this is called bio-neural haptic resonance. And this isn't just some sci-fi hand-waving either. The manual gets specific. The ship literally connects to your nervous system, and your intent gets translated through the way you physically manipulate an energy field. That becomes the ship's command. It's a direct, unfiltered mind-to-machine link.
Okay, so what does this new cockpit actually look and feel like? Let's step inside what the manual calls the flight alcove. And I mean it when I say you have to forget everything you think a cockpit is. No chairs, no dashboard, no windows. This place is designed for a completely different way of flying.
The manual gives us this incredibly vivid picture. You're standing in a circular room. The walls are seamless, almost like bone, and the whole space is bathed in this soft violet light. Right in the center, there's a waist-high pedestal made of polished obsidian, and floating just above it is the resonance sphere. It's about the size of a basketball, made of liquid metal, and that right there is your everything. It's your control stick, your throttle, your nav computer, all in one, and it's surrounded by these beautiful, complex holographic patterns of light. Which, of course, brings us to the most critical part of this whole process, becoming one with the ship. They call it the neural synchronization protocol. And you can think of it like turning the key in your car's ignition, but instead of starting an engine, you're kicking off a direct, conscious link with the vessel itself. And right out of the gate, the manual slaps you with a pretty serious warning. This is not a game. If you try to fly this thing before you achieve resonance, you could suffer from something called neural backlash. So yeah, the stakes are incredibly high, which just goes to show you how deep this connection really is.
So, how do you actually do it? Well, the whole process is kind of like a form of meditation. You walk towards the pedestal, and suddenly you feel the gravity stabilizers kick in, making you totally weightless. Then you reach out and place your hands into the energy field around the sphere. You're not actually touching it, just feeling its presence. Then you close your eyes and focus your mind on one single concept: stasis, perfect stillness. As you do that, the ship is reading you, getting your neural baseline, and you feel this deep vibration. And then, the light in the room shifts from violet to a warm amber. That's it. Synchronization is complete. You're in.
And the outcome of that process is, well, it's profound. The ship is no longer some separate object you're inside of. For all intents and purposes, it is you. It's an extension of your own body, your own will. Every thought, every tiny flicker of intent is now shared instantly with the vessel.
Okay, so you're synced up. Time for your first lesson: sublight maneuvers. This is all about how you handle the ship inside a planet's atmosphere or in orbit around it. This is where you learn how to dance.
And the controls are just unbelievably intuitive. If you want to turn the ship, you just twist the air around the sphere with your hands, like you're shaping it. To go faster, you push your hands forward toward the sphere. To hit the brakes or just hover, you pull your hands back sharply. It's as natural as working with clay. It's all driven by pure instinct. And the system is constantly giving you feedback. The air you're pushing against provides resistance that directly mirrors the G-forces on the hull. You can literally feel the strain on the ship through your hands. And those holographic glyphs we mentioned, they shift in color, from a calm blue to a stressed-out red, giving you a perfect visual cue for how hard you're pushing the craft.
So once you've gotten the hang of flying locally, it's time to graduate to the big leagues. It's time to engage the gravimetric shear drive and learn how to jump across the stars. We're talking faster than light travel now, and that requires a totally different level of interaction.
And, with great power comes another one of these critical warnings. You're not just flying the ship through space anymore. You are literally moving space around the ship. So, yeah, you better make absolutely sure there isn't a planet or a sun in your way. To make a jump, it's this very physical three-stepped action. First, you finally make direct contact, placing your palms on the sphere, and you feel this surprising cold from the liquid metal. Then, you start to physically squeeze it, compress it. The manual says that as you squeeze harder, the sound in the cabin builds to a roaring choir. Finally, with all your focus and strength, you push the compressed sphere down into the pedestal. And in that single moment, boom, you've just folded space.
And the elegance of this system is just how simple it is. The relationship between your effort and the result is 1-to-1. The more physical pressure you apply, the harder you squeeze that sphere, the farther your interstellar jump is going to be. A little pressure is a short hop to the next star. A massive, focused effort could take you clear across the galaxy.
But of course, jumping around blindly is probably a terrible idea. So, the final core skill you need is navigation. And we're about to see how you chart a course through something the manual calls the star reeve.
First things first, you have to throw out any idea you have of a flat, two-dimensional map. That's not how this works. Navigation here is fully three-dimensional, it's holographic, and it's completely interactive. You're literally about to step inside the star chart.
And the whole process is just so tactile and immersive. You reach out and pull the holographic glyphs apart, and the entire room just fills with a 3D hologram of the galaxy. You use these swimming motions with your hands to move through the star field. You find your destination, and then you physically pinch that star between your thumb and forefinger. A glowing filament of light connects you to it, and then you just pluck it like a guitar string, and your course is locked in. It's just amazing.
Obviously, even the best pilots run into trouble sometimes, and the ship is ready for that. It has two main fail-safes. If there's a critical failure, like a hull breach, the sphere initiates a Chronos lock. It solidifies, and time inside the cabin literally freezes to preserve you until you can be rescued. And if you're incapacitated and your neural link is lost, the ship automatically engages a recall protocol and returns to wherever it came from. It's built to protect its pilot above everything, which really just underlines how deep that bond is.
And all of this brings us to one final big question that just kind of hangs in the air. This whole system, this entire way of flying, it's all built on this seamless connection between the pilot and the ship. So if the ship truly becomes an extension of your nervous system, an expression of your own will made real, then what does that make you? Are you still just a pilot sitting in a machine? Or have you become something else, something new? And that's the question this technology really leaves us with.